Hey guys, how you doing? So I'm doing a real quick, I'm just doing a video, just playing around. I'm just going over this with permanent marker so I can erase all the pencil lines. Now this is a Micron 03, but you can use a Sharpie, Bic, whatever you have. I like to use the permanent so they don't lift when I go to paint on them. But if you don't have that, I won't do the eyebrows yet, then use whatever you have. Crayola, whatever you have. And I just like to trace. Trace and erase. I love doing these because there is no right or wrong. It's whatever you get on the paper that matters. Do you know what I mean? It's all good. The eyes don't match, it don't matter. Okay. I like the way that the face is shaped, so I'm gonna make sure I take it up right to the eye. I'm not going to do the top part because I have to cut it. I'm going to cut it out. So cut it out, and then I go and I take my eraser. You just buy, if you can't afford the erasers at the craft store, you just buy a bunch of them at the dollar store. Doesn't matter, and it doesn't smear or anything, which I'm so glad. This is just a quick tip. I'm taking the eyebrows off as well. And then take it to your garbage can. I have to get my other erasers out. I have these great erasers. I can't think of what they're called, but when you erase with them, it rolls everything into like one part rather than having all that crumbs around. And I really love it. And I have two of them and I just can't find them right now. Okay. So that is that so far. And now you can just go in and paint. And I'm just going to paint her. You can cut her out now or cut whatever you're doing out and do it that way. But I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to throw a coat of paint on her. I'm just using my regular folk art light flesh. I'll start with her neck. And if you go over the lines that you have, then you just go over them again after you're done. I usually like to, no matter whether I'm using a marker that is permanent or not, I do like to hit it with my heat gun because it seems to dry it a little better for me, faster in a sense, because you know, the ink still has to go through the paper and the fibers and dry. So you see I'm doing this immediately after. There's a good chance that this ink underneath will run just a slight bit. So if you find yourself having that problem, just go over it with your, no, I'm just painting over all these because it's easier for me. Just go over it with a heat gun or a hot hair dryer for a minute so it helps dry it. It just makes it easier for you. Do you have to do it? No, you don't have to. But do you want to do it? If you have the time, yeah. And then her little arms. You can use markers. You can use whatever you want. Colored pencils. Should have grabbed my colored pencils. And just make sure it's all pretty much even. Now, if you want to do, which I'm not going to do on these, I don't do on these girls usually, but if you want to do shadows and all that kind of thing, take a little bit of the color that you're using, and highlights rather, I would guess it would be called, and mix a little bit of white in it. Mix it on your brush and then go in and do highlights of where you want highlights to leave the dark. And that would work just as fine. I'm just going to take my heat gun just to dry this paint, to glue it. What the heck? I'll just take a second. Especially around the eyes, like, or the mouth and nose where I'm going to draw. Draw it back. Then I'll take my marker again. And I'll go and I'll retrace my eyes. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to fix. You can see how I got, like, that's a little off because my hand was like, yeah, really? You're going to do that? So if you don't like that, take your paint again and just cover it. Leave it dry. Because everything you can fix once you get it on the canvas or whatever you're going to put it on. So it won't bother nothing. And then decide what kind of nose you're going to do. I'm just going to do her little ploopy nose and then do her mouth. Again, I'll fix that. I can fix that and touch that up once she's on her canvas that she's going to be on. Or her home, I should say. Remember, when you're doing these, if you don't have paper to make a dress out of or whatever, use paint. Just as good. Maybe I'll do paint on this one to show you guys. I'm not going to do videos of me getting this one together, though. You guys will be like, no more, no more. And you see, I'm not tracing exactly how I went. I mean, I'm going off the thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And then rip it out. This is thin paper. This is out of one of my art journals. Let's see what kind of paper it is. It's sketch paper. So this is what I sketched in when I was doing, I think it was last February. Yeah. I did last February. I wanted to do it this past February. This is from 2014, where I did all kinds of sketches for the date. I guess you were supposed, like, this is 2/11, 2/12. This is my, I'm going to do something with her and put her on a, I have videos for all these, by the way. Then I did my little creepy one. And I tried to do a man. Obviously, I'm not good at doing the man. What is that? I don't know. But I did it. And then I just drew faces. I drew the, whatever the heck she is. And then the hot head. That's another one I really dig. I'm going to have to put into a painting. And I draw and draw and draw and draw and draw. Manga will never be a manga drawer. I don't know what the heck I was doing. This one I just wanted her to have colored eyes and lips. But you see how you can vary. Like, she has a little round face. I probably traced that. But she has the flat eyes, which works out. Then we got that one. And then these are just things that I did for art journal prompts, and good Lord only knows what else is in here. But it's just a sketch pad that I took, that I bought. So you can use anything you have. Now I'm going to just cut this out really quick. I always advise going and cutting out. If you cut out, you don't have to cut out. You can do this right on. But if you're going to cut out like me, cut out wide first. So you have, because it's easier to control if you have less to hold. So I'm just going to go in. Sorry, I can't cut and talk at the same time. Which I know, it's amazing, right? I talk so much. You would think I could, but I can't. I knock everything over, though. You can count on that. So then you just kind of do your thing. I like these Tim Holtz scissors or Ranger, whatever the heck they're from. I didn't say I like Tim Holtz. I said I liked some of his products. Okay. And then I'm just going to cut this out. Now I can cut more of the head off when I go in to the canvas. But there you go. That is really the simplistic way of doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's not, you know, I look at it and I'm like, oh, I could trim this up a little bit. But it doesn't, you know, once you glue it down, you're going to be fine because you're going to have mixed media or whatever you want around it. But of course, OCD kicks in and then Kelly can't put it down. But anyway, these are Tim Holtz tonics. I have a couple pair of these, and he has a new set out. I think they've been out a year. I think that are more for cutting smaller things. I think I'm not real sure. I've been wanting to pick them up. You can tell these are very loved. They are full of paint and anything that you can think of. Well, not anything, obviously, not gross things, but that is our little girl that I cut out, and she will be going on a nice spree for a random act of kindness for somebody, but I will be doing the background. I'll probably do that on video because I get a lot of requests for doing mixed media backgrounds. So I'm going to make her very, I made the last one grungy. I'm thinking maybe a little dark, like purples and blacks, like my favorite color. So I'm thinking about it. So we shall see. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up, you know, give you a little sneak peek of how I do it, that you guys can do it this way. It's much easier than trying to how do you say it, than just having her head. I know a lot of people just do the head, and I've done the heads before where you just cut the head off and then you can do the rest on the canvas or your substrate, whatever you're using, and I think that's fantastic. I do that as well. However, if you're starting out, this is the way I suggest to do it. You want to put her on the best that you can and the most that you can, like her dress and her arms, and then you can kind of play with it once you're glued on. But that's it, just a little FYI kind of thing. This is how I cut it out, and I'm going to be playing around. This is just sketch paper, so if you don't have mixed media paper or scrapbook paper, you know, whatever, use printer paper. It doesn't matter. It's all good. It's thin. It'll go on there. You won't have much, you know, it'll give you a good thing to play with. That's what I'm trying to say. As always, be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. You guys rock. I will see you later. Bye, guys.